So hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and today again we are going to review the movie, and today's movie is Bordello of Blood that came in 1996. So in this video we are going to review this movie and we are talk about its facts and analysis of this one. So let's start with its introduction. Bordello of Blood is a horror comedy film released in 1996, directed by Gilbert Adler. It's part of the Tales from the Crypt franchise inspired by the popular HBO horror anthology series and also serving as a sequel to the 1993 film Demon Knight. The film blends supernatural horrors with the dark humor, camp, and gothic aesthetic, showcasing vampire, necromancy, and a noir detective story. While it didn't achieve critical acclaim, Bordello of Blood has gained a cult following for its campy tone, cheesy effects, and memorable performance. It features a blend of horror tropes, tongue-in-cheek humor, and 90s horror aesthetics. Talk about plot summary and scene breakdown. Opening and introduction. The film begins with a dark, atmospheric narration setting the tone. We are introduced to the world of vampires and the supernatural underbelly of Los Angeles, where a mysterious vampire brother, the titular Bordello of Blood, serve as a hub for vampires and supernatural until so if we talk about the main character, Rafe Gutman, Corfield Man, and a private investigator and former priest, haunted by his past failure. He is the reluctant hero, cynical but brave, the vampire temptress, and the central figure of the film with a seductive and deadly allure. The Crypt Keeper, voiced by Joan Asher, provides narration, comic relief, and horror humor throughout the film. If we talk about the plot in details, Rafe Gutman is hired by a mysterious client to investigate the Bordello of blood, a haunted vampire brother run by lives past as a priest and vampire hunter haunts him as he digs into the mystery. To cover the plot in details, Rafe Gutman is hired by a mysterious client to investigate the Bordello of blood, a haunted vampire brother run by Lilith. Rafe's past as priest and vampire hunter haunts him as he digs into the mystery. We talk about Darla, the vampire seductress, captures Rafe's interest as he investigates the brothel, which is linked to a series of disappearance and supernatural disturbance. It is revealed that the plot unit of Rafe Gutman is hired by a mysterious client to investigate the Bordello of blood, a haunted vampire brother run by Lilith. Rafe past as a priest and vampire hunter haunts him as he digs into the mystery. Talk about Darla, the vampire seductress, captures Rafe's interest as he investigates the brothel, which is linked to a series of disappearance and supernatural disturbance. It is revealed that Lilith is attempting to recreate an ancient evil using the brothel as her base of operation. Devon Jimmy once Rafe's mentor reappears as a vampire hunter trying to stop Lilith's plan. The climax involves a showdown in the brothel with Rafe confronting Lilith, battling her onions and attempting to prevent the resurrection of an ancient evil. And if we talk about the ending, the film concludes with Rafe defeating Lilith, but with a tongue in check, is typical of the franchise, leaving open the possibility of further supernatural chaos and a return of evil forces. Talk about main character and performance for a fieldman as Ref Cutman. The film's protagonist, a cynical ex-priest, turned private investigator. The film's protagonist, a cynical ex-priest turned private investigator. The film's performance is over the top and campy, fitting the film's tone. His character is a parody of noir detectives with humorous one-liners and aggravated heroism. And we should talk about Erika Eleniak as the slutty vampire temptress, known for her seductive charm and deadly nature. Her performances can be and memorable, embodying the vampire seductress archetype. She has several iconic scenes showcasing her vampire allure. Around Chris surrendered as rival Jimmy Metcalf, a former priest and vampire hunter. Sarandon brings capital and a sense of gothic seriousness. His character provides a contrast to the campy tone, adding depth. Third, Angie Everhart as Lilith, the main antagonist, a powerful and alluring vampire. Her performance is sensual, menacing, and campy, fitting the film's gothic horror humor blend with our themes and style. The film blends into gothic aesthetics with dark, moody visual, vampire lore, and haunted tower themes and style. Gothic horror and comedy film leans into gothic aesthetic with dark, moody visual, vampire lore, and haunted setting. Its campy tone is reflected in cheesy effect, exaggerated performances, and humorous dialogues. Talk about good versus evil, classic themes of heroism, redemption, and a supernatural battle between vampire and vampires enter. If we talk about sexuality and temptation, vampire especially alive. Lilith symbolizes my seduction, danger, and forbidden desire. Common themes in vampire lore. We have nostalgia and parody. Talk about production and behind the scene fact. Firstly, let's talk about development and script. Bordello was developed as a sequel to Demon Knight with a focus on vampires and horror comedy. The script was written to embrace characters with exaggerated characters and dialogue. Now, if we talk about casting, Corey, a filmman known for his roles in British film, was cast as Ray, adding a quick yes. Erika Eleniak, famous for her playboy centerfold and witty appearance, played Darla. Angie Everett was cast as Lilith, bringing sex appeal and Chris known for the Prince Bride and Pride Night provided Gothic gravitas. And if we talk about filming and effect, filming took place in Los Angeles with gothic sets designed to evoke horror film of the past. With a practical effect and makeup and prosthetic created the vampire transformation and gore. The film's special effects were intentionally cheesy to match its campy tone. And if we talk about music and score, the soundtrack featured gothic, rock, metal, and horror theme music complementing the film's mood. Notable tracks include Bordello theme song. We talk about critical and audience reception. Talk about critical response. The film received mixed to navigate reviews, often criticized for its cheesy effect, uneven tone, and campy performance. Some critics appreciated its humor and homage to classic horror, but others found it lacking in coherence. If we talk about audience reception and cult status, despite critical opinion, Bordello of Blood developed a loyal cult following. Fans enjoyed its campy humor, over the top performance, and nostalgic horror vibe. And if we talk about box office and legacy, the film was a modest box office performer but gained popularity on home video that video and cable TV remains a cult classic among horror comedy fans. If we talk about fun facts and Easter eggs, campy effect. Many effects were intentionally cheesy, such as the vampire makeup and monster transformation to uh, evoke a classic horror camp. The crypt keeper, the voice is of the crypt keeper John Kaiser narrates part of the film, adding comic relief. If we talk about homage to Gothic horror, the film features references to Nosferatu, Dracula, and other vampire classic. If we talk about casting cameos, actors Williams Sadler appears briefly, linking to the film of the tales from the Crypt universe. If we talk about music, the film's soundtrack includes gothic rock and metal bands like Type O, Negative, and the Sisters of Mercy. If we talk about iconic scene and core, scene Rafael's narration. Welcome to the Bordello of Blood sets the capital. The large statues them come to Mama, classic vampire seduction, uh, rape confronting Lilith, time to put a stake in it, campy hero moment, The Crypt Keeper's narration. It's a bloodsucker's buffet, adds humor and horror. Why Robert, why Bordello blood still has fans? It's nostalgic homage to gothic horror and vampire lore. The campy performance and cheesy effects that have become charm points, a mixture of horror, humor, and sleaze that appeals to cult horror fans. The film's horror over-the-top tone makes it fun to watch at. So bad it's good movie. We talk about final thoughts and cultural impact. Bordello of Blood is a quintessential 90s horror comedy cult classic. Its camp, gothic aesthetic, and tongue-in-cheek humor have earned it special place among fans, even if it's not acclaimed critically. It's a fun, cheesy, uh, drama that parodies horror types while celebrating vampire mythology. Let's talk about more. If we talk about Model of Blood 1996, the ultimate in-depth movie review analysis and fascinating facts. If we talk about introduction and overview of cult horror and there can be some Bordello of Blood stand as a contentious example of 1990 horror comedy, a film that embraces its camp reveals in its silly fact and celebrates the gothic horror Hollywood town and cheek humor. While it was largely overlooked critically upon release, it has since cemented its status as a cult classic among fans of B-movie horror, vampire lore, and campy genre mission. This film part of the tales from the franchise builds upon the tradition of horror anthologies, but expands into features length narrative that combine horror tropes, dark humor, and a dash of noir detective storytelling. It's a blend of over-the-top performance, cheesy practical effect, and gothic aesthetics make it a unique artifact of 90s horror culture. To talk about extended plot and scene breakdown, scene and atmosphere, setting the film kicks off with a moody atmosphere narration by the Crypt Keeper and the iconic host voiced by John Cusack, with cabaret jokes and dark humor. We are introduced to the supernatural world of vampire and the secret society of vampire hunters, stabilizing the gothic not inspired tone. The opening scene that transitions into a dark, smoky graveyard where we see these vampires killed by the sinister yet plotting their schemes. Western features for cryptic symbols and Gothic architecture, creating a spooky yet campy vibe that persists throughout the movie. Without introduction of main character, their backstory, the film kicks off with a moody atmospheric narration by the crypt keeper, the iconic horror host voiced by Joan Kessler, setting the tone with macabre jokes and dark humor. We are introduced to the supernatural underworld of vampire and the if we talk about introduction of main character and their backstories, we have got man Scotty when an ex-prisoner, a cynical private investigator haunted by his past failures. His persona is a parody of noir detective, complete with French coat, fedora, and a French coat full of snacky one-liners. His backstory hints at previous failure to save a loved one from vampiric evil, fueling his personal crusade against the undead. Crocodile Erika Eleniak, the vampire seductor, is embodying allure and danger of vampires. Her character is a parody of classic female patterns with exaggerated sensuality and campy dialogue. Lala's character is both deadly and humorous, often seducing her prey with a wink and a smile. Everyone she met a former prisoner, vampire hunter, a gothic hero with dark past and performance. Santos performs at zero talent comic as he is both serious and humorous. Talk about Lilith, Angie Everhard, the main villain, a seductive and powerful vampire queen seeking to unleash chaos. Her character symbolizes temptation, power, and the gothic allure of vampiric evil. Other notable characters: Dr. Group Teen John Kessler, a A mad scientist and vampire expert adds comic relief with eccentric scientific theories. The Crypt Keeper, the macabre host narrating and commenting on the action with dark humorous quips. If we talk about the plot unfolds a deep dive into the investigation. Riff takes on a case to uncover the secret of the Bordello of blood. Notorious vampire brother that's the nexus of supernatural activity. His investigation leads him into a decadent and gothic underworld filled with vampires, necromancers, and other monsters. Phenomena underneath Lala vampire doctors working for Edith is tasked with seducing victims and bringing out the residual as an ancient vampire queen with plans to resurrect an even more powerful evil and apocalyptic entity deep beneath the city. The brothel and its secret. The Bordello itself is depicted as a decadent, haunted mansion with dark corridors, blood-red walls, curtains, and Gothic Cinderella's place of temptation and dark rituals full of vampires, spawn, and hidden chambers. We talk about climactic confrontation with the help of Reverend Jimmy and a few lies it. The brother during a midnight ritual we talk about climactic confrontation with the help of Reverend Jimmy and a few allies infiltrates the brother during a midnight ritual. They face off against Lilith and her minions, battling both the physical monster and supernatural spells, recovery, separation, and final battle. Lilith attempts to resurrect her master, an ancient evil, but is thwarted by its cleverness in the use of holy relics and some cheesy but effective practical effects like wooden sticks. Without ending and unending conclusion, the film ends with a tongue-in-cheek victory but with hints that evil never truly dies. The practical version seems was a mysterious figure retrieving a relic from the world, suggesting that the vampire's maniac could return. We talk about expanded character deep dive. Talk fulfillment as Jeff Cutman Graves' character is a parody of noir detective archetype hard-boiled, cynical and haunted. He is mundane and sarcastic with bad humor. His backstory hints at a tragic past involving lost love and failed heroes, making him a flawed but ultimately redeemed hero. Friedland's performance is intentionally exaggerated with mugging, dramatic pauses, and campy deliveries that fits the film's tone. Jogodara, Erika, Eleniak, embodies the classic vampire seductress, but with a campy, over-the-top flair. Her character is both educating and deadly, often using her sexuality as a weapon. Her scenes involves elaborate makeup, fangs, and a certain voice, making her memorable as a vampire archetype. Revan, Jimmy Metcalf, Chris Sarandon. Sarandon plays the gothic hero with a sense of gravitas but also with humorous self-awareness. His character provides a moral anchor amid the chaos, with lines about faith and evil. Surrender plays the gothic hero with a sense of gravitas, but also with humorous self-awareness. His character provides a moral anchor amid the chaos with pitchy lines about faith and evil. His character provides a moral anchor amid the chaos with pitchy lines about faith and evil. If we talk about Lilith Angie Everhart, Lilith is portrayed as a commanding, seductive prince with a Lilith Lilith is portrayed portrayed as commanding, seductive villainous with a baked sense of humor. Her look long, dark hair, gothic attire, and hypnotic charm exude manic. It also portrays horror conventions, overacting, cheesy effect, and exaggerated violence, creating a campy, self-aware sound tone. If it all could versus ever and redemption, the film explores themes of redemption with reflecting personal duels and seeking to save the city. Vampires symbolizes uh, temptation and evil, but also seduction and allure. We talk about sexuality and power. Vampire Darla and Lily symbolize dangerous, seductive power. Their interaction with the victims highlight themes of temptation, danger, and control. Talk about behind the scenes and production inside. Development, if you talk about development and script, the project was developed to capitalize on the vampire craze of the 1990s with a tongue-in-cheek approach. The script was infused with humor, and gothic imagery. If you talk about casting and performance, Corey Feldman's casting brought Erika adding a quite rebellious edge. Erika Eleniak vampires was designed to be both lyric and campy. The Everard portrayal of Lilith was crafted to be both seductive and villainous. Talk about filming and special effects. Filming took place in Los Angeles with set designed to evoke authentic elements. Think dark corridors, cobwebs, and bloodshed. Lighting. Talk about practical effect. Including prosthetics, puppetry, and fake blood with some intentionally cheesy to add to the camp. Every talk on makeup and costume. Yeah, Vampire makeup emphasized transparent skin and gothic attire, largely was inspired by classic horror elements, metal with caressed leather and long, long flowing hair. To talk about music and score, the soundtrack features gothic rock, metal, and horror themed tracks, heightening the mood. Notable songs include tracks by Type O Negative, Teen, the dark gothic tone, with a good critical and audience reception. Initial reception. The film was met with mixed reviews. Critics derived depth its Chinese words praised its camp appeal. Some critics call it a fun B movie and appreciate its homage to gothic horror and if we talk about cult following legacy. Over time, Bordello blood gained a dedicated cult following. Views enjoy its CG effect can be acting in gothic atmosphere. We talk about box office and cultural impact. Modest box office performance, but enduring popularity on home video and cable, inspired merchandise, fan art, and reference in horror circles. The Crypt Keeper, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, John Cassar, adds a layer of macabre humor appearing in scene and narrating with Polish puns. We talk about cheesy effect, the vampire transformation, and monster scene intentionally embrace cheesy practical effects. Costume design aligned with costume art delivered gothic and exaggerated reflecting the camp aesthetics. And talk about friends to the franchise, the film turned into the tales from the crypt universe. It came announced to the TV series. Talk about connection and memorable parts. Scene Empire's brother reveal welcome to the Bordello of blood, sets the campy horror tone. The Vadala seduction scene come to Mema. Classic vampiric seduction with cam charm. The rapid showdown times to stay in it over the top hero movement. We talk about crypt keeper narration. It's bloodsuckers buffet. Adds humor and gothic flavor. Our Lilith's evil plan. The blood moon will rise. The villains realized shames by Bordello of blood endures. It's unapologetically camp, cheesy facts, and gothic style make it a delightful B movie. Nostalgia appeal for fans of 90s horror and vampire look. Talk about the performance, especially when quirky hero and ever hard seductive villains are memorable. It's a fun horror film that doesn't take itself too seriously. Tower final reflection, a cult classic of 90s horror. Model of Blood embodies the spirit of 90s horror cinema. Wholly campy and delightful, cheesy. Pirate might not win awards for storytelling or special effects. It captures the essence of POV horror with style, humor, and a gothic flair. It's a perfect pick for the fans of Bible or horror, comedy, or anyone seeking fun over the top horror experience. Let's talk about more. We talk about the model of blood identity, ultimate deep dive and exhaustive reviews, analysis, and fascinating facts. If we talk about Bordello of Blood is a film that embodies the spirit of 1990s horror cinema, bold, campy, and unfiltered. It stands as a testament to the era's love for B movies, gothic aesthetics, and horror comedy blends despite its mixed critical reception. The film has achieved cult status thanks to its over-the-top performance, cheesy practical effect, gothic atmosphere, and tongue-in-cheek humor as part of the Tales from the Crypt franchise. It carries the legacy of horror storytelling infused with dark humor, moral details. The breakdown and scene analysis, opening sequence and setting the mood. The film opens with the voiceover from the crypt keeper, voiced by John Kessel. Talk about the comprehensive plot breakdown and scene by scene analysis. We talk about opening sequence, and setting the mood. The film opens with a voiceover from the crypt keeper, voice by John Kessel, delivering a series of darkly humorous scripts that set the tone. The narrative reference the supernatural underworld, empires, and forbidden pleasure, immediately stabilizing the film's gothic horror capex. And if we talk about the opening scene, the transition, foggy, Nutley, graveyard, evoking classic horror films and gothic story. We see empires, unions looking Now let's talk about introduction of the main characters and their motivations. Rafe Cutman, Corey Feldman, the cynical, wise-cracking, ex-Preston private investigator haunted. mm, Erika, Eleniak, the vampire, femme fatale, seductive, and deadly temptress. Her character reminds earlier of classic horror siren with campy humor, often teasing her prey with a flirtation for striking. Probably one Jimmy Metcalf, Chris Surrender, talk about Regan, Jimmy Metcalf, Athletic ex-priest and vampire hunter, a serious Bulgarian hero who act as Rafe's mentor. Sarandon's performance as gothic gravitas but with a humorous undertone with Angie Everhart, the main antagonist, a powerful vampire queen seeking to resurrect an ancient evil Hulk, long dark hair, gothic attire, hypnotic eyes, exudes menace and seduction. Downward supporting characters, the eccentric Dr. Kropotkin, John Cassatt, comic relief with mad scientist, antics, minor vampire minion, and various victims throughout the narrative arc. And medicines, the investigation and discovery. Rafe is hired to uncover the secret of the Bordello of blood, Herdoshuri's vampire brother. His investigation takes him into the heart of the Gothic underworld where he encounters Darla, who lures him into her web. Their interaction are good parts. Flirtation, deadly, secret To talk about the competition of animals in class. The climax involves Rick, Jimmy, and Dana infiltrate the brother during a midnight ritual. The scene is filled with practical effect. Vampire emerging from coffins, blood splatters, and gothic set piece confronts Lilith battling her minions and attempts to thwart her plan using holy licks, stakes, and clever tricks. The resolution and final twist. Lilith is defeated weapons and ends at the capacity of Ellen, a mysterious figure. It has a relic from the rose, implying that the vampire threat might return, leaving the audience with a sense of an ongoing supernatural cycle. Extensive character analysis and performance. Talk about Cole Feldman as Ray Feldman. Life is a variety of non-detectives. Photograph sarcastic and vulgar, but with a heart. Awkward visual lines are delivered with a exaggerated play, making him both an action hero and comic relief. His backstory hints at a tragedy involving a loved one lost to vampirism. Following his cliched, Feldman's performance is intentionally over the top, using mocking dramatic talk about Erika, Eleniak as Dala embodies the seductive power of empires, but in a campy, exaggerated way. Her look, long, flowing hair, revealing outfits, and heavy makeup designed to evoke gothic glamour. Her dialogue is filled with puns and flirtation, making her both alluring and humorous. Memorable scene: Dallas use victim with a slutty smile, then reveals her fangs in a humorously exaggerated manner. Chris Sarandon as Ivan Jimmy Metcalf. Sarandon's portrayal felt so gothic every time, giving the film a sense of seriousness and the charm. His character is a parody of the righteous vampire imposter, complete with a cross Hollywood and a no-nonsense attitude. His interaction with witty banter and gothic humor and give our heart a Lilith. Lilith is the archetypal vampire queen, seductive, commanding, and weak. Her look into gothic attire, hypnotic eyes, and commanding presence. Her evil schemes involves dark ritual and resurrection magic, making her a memorable villainous thematic engine analysis. Gothic aesthetic and furry horror parody. The film features gothic set design, costumes, and lighting, evoking classic horror films. It parodies these elements through exaggerated performance, effect, and humorous dialogue. vampirism as a symbol of temptation and power. If vampires represent seduction, effort, desire, Allah and Lilith symbolize the elite of evil, beautiful, but deadly. Good versus evil and redemption. Jeff's journey embodies the classic methods of morality, fighting evil while confronting his own flaws. The film explores themes of redemption, faith, and sacrifice, often in a tongue in a cheap manner. We talk about humor and horror fusion. The film presents a scene of genuine horror with humor and camp, making it a quintessential horror comedy. Console lines and exaggerated effect contributed to its cult appeal. And if you talk about behind the scene and production inside, talk about behind the scene and production inside. Behind the we talk about behind the scene production inside. We talk about development and script. The project was conceived as a follow-up to Demon Knight, but with a focus on vampires. The script was intentionally campy with exaggerated character and humorous dialogue, casting and performance. Corey Feldman's casting lot of quirky rebellious edge. Erika, Eleniak, vampireness was designed to be both alluring and campy. God, angry or harsh in the task scripted to be both seductive and villainous. Without work to film book location set design film occurred in Los Angeles with gothic sets designed above horror classic. Practical effects include prosthetic puppetry and fake blood with some scenes deliberately cheesy. However, special effects and makeup, vampire transformation use prosthetic and makeup emphasizing palette skin, paint, and horror elements. Some effects like blood splatter were intentionally cheesy to enhance the camp. The rich Christian religion to be about prayer and most emphasizing her vampiric dominance. Without critical reception and audience contribution, the initial critics' response. Critics blamed the film for its camp, cheesy effect and uneven tone. We talk about card following and fan appreciation. Over time, the film has gained a dedicated cult following, especially among fans of B-movies and horror comedy. Fans celebrated its memory and nostalgic vibe. If we talk about cultural impact and legacy, the film influenced later horror parody film and remains a touchstone for 90s horror fans. It's a number of parts, scene and character are still referenced in horror circles. Talk about additional trivia and Easter eggs. Talk about crypt keepers, cameos. The voice actor John Kessler appears in scene and narrates darkly humorous lines. And if we talk about a hidden cameo, where William Salles makes a brief appearance, linking the film to Trill from a crypt universe. Hidden cameo William Salles makes a brief appearance, linking to the tales from the crypt universe. We talk about soundtrack highlight tracks. My type on a good Sister of Mercy and other worthy poems add to the tone. We talk about memorable scene and quotable lines. We talk about opening narration. Welcome to the Bordello of Blood. Sets the campy hard tone. Toward dialogue seduction come to Mema, classic vampire seduction, exaggerated and humor. Toward rapes are time to put a stake in Erika movement. The crypt keepers comment. Sugar suckers effect adds humor and gothic flavor. Talk about village evil plan. Blood moon will rise. Dense by Bordello that continues to charm fans. It's unapologetically camp, cheesy, fact, and gothic style create a unique viewing experience. Talk about nostalgic appeal for 90s horror lover. The performance especially it's a fun horror build around that celebrate behavior and weapon mythology. Talk about final reflection. What is your favorite example of the 90s comedy genre? Old, campy, and delightfully cheesy. Its influence can be seen in subsequent horror parodies, and it remains a beloved cult classic. A film is mix of gothic visual tone and shack humor and memorable characters make it a must-watch for fans of horror. It's a film that doesn't shy away from its lovely roots, and that's part of its charm. So it was a review of this movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.